everybody, it's me, Corey T, and in this video we're going to be talking about how will your manifestation unfold. This thing that you're wanting to create, the thing that you're really wanting to happen, how will it unfold? And the reason why I'm wanting to do this video is because so often in my one-to-one sessions, people will explain to me a circumstance and it looks like the thing that they're wanting seems really far away and they just can't connect the dots of how they're going to get from A, the place where they are now, to B, the place where they want to go. And there's just so much uncertainty in between, which is that thing that we're not very tolerant of, that we need to expand our tolerance of, uncertainty. And we just can't see the pieces of the jigsaw. They don't seem to match up and we're just really in the dark and we don't know what's going to happen. So what I want to say to you is that that is the fun of it. That is part of the fun of creating what you want. If we knew how life was going to unfold all the time, life would be kind of boring. So humans are a bit paradoxical really, because on one hand, we need certainty to make us feel safe. And on the other hand, we need uncertainty because otherwise life would be boring. And this is one of those situations where we don't want to know really everything. We don't want to spoil the surprise, but we have to sit with that uncertainty, and that's the uncomfortable bit. So that's the bit that we've got to get better at, learning to tolerate uncertainty. And this isn't just a thing that we can use when we're creating something and we're wanting something to happen, but for really all of those times in life where we're faced with uncertainty, and it's going to happen again and again and again. So this situation of wanting to know how it will unfold is a really good opportunity to lean into uncertainty and say, I don't know. I really don't know how this is going to unfold, and okay, I surrender. I'm going to surrender trying to figure it out and let life surprise me. Lean into the fun of that and let that be fun. I think this is a better approach than trying to guess and trying to manifest in your mind and trying to create a situation in your mind of how exactly it's going to look and exactly what's going to happen and when, especially when, because number one, that puts limitations on your manifestation. If you're kind of messing with the middle and trying to put a date on something or the exact words or the exact time and the exact way that it's going to be, and you need it to be exactly that way, by the way, you're only doing that because you want to feel in control. Oh, that's Dixie, by the way. She's eating my makeup brush. I've tried to stop her many times. She just keeps finding it again. So it is what it is. I've got another one. It's fine. Anyway, so the only reason why you're trying to think of the specifics and you're trying to know exactly how it's going to unfold is because number one, you want the certainty, and number two, you're trying to control the outcome, which we've got to try and avoid. We've got to go back into surrender and trust. Trust, because everything's unfolding exactly as it should in perfect timing, and you're exactly where you need to be. And if we can develop this trust within ourselves, trust within life, trust within the universe, higher power, God, whatever you want to call it, then we can be more in the present and enjoy the present rather than trying to control and trying to manage our anxiety by imagining and manifesting in a way that actually ends up being controlling and unhealthy, and then leads us to disappointments. Because if we've got specifics like I need this to happen by this time, which I know sometimes we really want to create something by a specific time frame, and that is what it is, and sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. But when you've got something that could be more open-ended and we don't really need a specific date, but we would like one, we would really like one, and then it doesn't happen on that specific date, then either we will start to doubt ourselves and think, oh, I'm not a good manifester. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Or it's delaying the process of it actually coming in. And there's such an element of lack of trust in the timing of when things are supposed to happen. And just knowing that when this thing happens that you're wanting to create, it will make perfect sense why it happened at that time. Right? It will make perfect sense why all the things that had to happen in between and all the time you had to wait or not wait, or all the things that happened in between had to happen in order for you to get what you want. It always seems that way. Whenever you think about something that you wanted to create and you look back at like the micro steps and the mini things that happened, even behind the scenes without you knowing about it. Sometimes you have conversations with people and you think, oh my God, yeah, if you hadn't have gone there on that date, or if you hadn't been feeling really bad that day, then you wouldn't have spoken to that person who wouldn't have led you to that thing, and all the dots connect eventually. And you just have to trust it. And you can find evidence of this in your life already. You can find evidence of things that have happened and look back and connect the dots backwards. And you see, yeah, that made sense. That had to happen that way. And that's exactly what is happening now. When your manifestation is not right in front of your eyes and you don't know exactly how it's going to happen, go back to trust. Go back to trusting the knowing that when it does happen, when a manifestation unfolds, you always look back and are able to make sense of why it had to be that way. And I think thinking this in itself just gives you peace. It just gives you a sense of comfort and peace. It just gives you the freedom to go, okay, yeah, I've done enough. I've done enough by just wanting this. I've done enough by having the desire. I don't need to do anything else. And you definitely do not need to feel bad about yourself or your ability to create what you want if it hasn't happened or doesn't happen in the exact way that you had hoped it would. So, for example, when I was in Italy and I was manifesting my relationship and creating that relationship in my mind, I had imagined so clearly that Johnny was going to turn up in Italy, knock on my door and say, I love you and I just want to be with you and let's live together in Italy. And then that's what I thought was going to happen. I had a really specific idea of what I wanted to happen and when. And I was so frustrated when it didn't happen when I wanted it to, and it made me feel really disheartened. And then I left Italy, so I thought that it wasn't ever going to happen. And we did end up living in that apartment later through a series of events, like going to Dubai and then having to leave Dubai early, which led us to a flight that we had to get to Rome because it was the cheapest one that the company was going to pay for, that we were working for at the time. And we had to get that flight, and it's like all the parts were put in place in perfect alignment for me to get that manifestation, but I could never have predicted how it was going to happen, when it was going to happen, or any of that. And that made it more fun. That made it really interesting. That made me think, oh my God, the universe is amazing. Conscious creation is just blowing my mind. It just blew my mind. So let life do that to you. Let life surprise you. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be surprising. You don't need to know. Let that be fun. So if you found yourself ruminating, or you do find yourself ruminating about how it's going to happen, and you're trying to make sense of the current circumstances and you're trying to figure it out, get out of your head and say, oh my God, I'm doing that thing again where I'm trying to figure this out and I'll never find the answer. So this is a waste of time. And I'm just going to surrender to the universe. I'm going to let it surprise me and let this be fun. And yes, there's that feeling, that uncomfortable feeling of uncertainty. And what if it doesn't happen? And what if I need to do something else? And what if I've done something wrong? And all of those questions which are unanswerable, apart from the choice that we can make to say, I am not doing anything wrong. I am going to get what I want, and things are unfolding in perfect timing, and that is what I'm deciding to live in today, and the person that I'm deciding to be. And trust and know that when you're trusting and embodying that state of someone who believes and walks and talks and thinks and knows deep down, even when we have doubts and fears and worries and anxieties, even when those things come up, we know really where we're heading. We know. Now, I also want to remind you that I'm so excited because we're doing a whole month of consciously creating, being chosen, cherished, and loved from the inside out. It starts on the inside. So every day I'm going to be sending you a manifestation challenge, just a really simple thing that you can do every day to help you to get into the state of abundantly feeling loved and chosen and cherished. It's going to be fun, it's going to be beautiful, and I can't wait to share this whole month with you. I think there's only 9.5 weeks until the end of the year. I did a post earlier today about how I could never have predicted all the amazing things and all the amazing, beautiful moments that happened this year, a few months before the end of last year. Could never have predicted it. But I know what I was doing in my mind. I know what I was thinking. I know what I was creating. And although I couldn't see those things and I couldn't know what they were or how they were going to unfold, I knew what I was feeling and what I wanted to create from a state within me. And it really did start on the inside. And then this year, so many beautiful, crazy, amazing, unexpected, adventurous things happened where I've been chosen every single day and felt loved and cherished every day, by my person, by my specific person, by my partner every day. And I really know that started on the inside. It's not witchcraft or anything, but I know that I have cultivated a state of being chosen on the inside, which now reflects back to me consistently that I'm being chosen. And I feel more secure, more stable than I have done before. And I'm more secure in my relationship in this one than I ever have been before. And I know that that's because I've been consciously creating, unlearning old patterns, unlearning habits, learning about healthy relationships, implementing those things. And so I want to share those things with you and teach those things to you so that you can do the same thing. So we start on the 1st of November. I'm going to leave the link below, so if you want to join, it's going to be awesome. I will send you all the information once you've booked in an email, and I would love to see you there. So thanks for listening, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.